What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty with the GoPro strapped to my head. Welcome to another video here on Ty Drives. Who's ready to take a test drive in the 2025 Chevrolet Trax? Now this is the 1RS trim, and it's got the pretty cool crimson red metallic color. So the RS trim will kind of give you this dark chrome appearance, dark grille. Pretty cool 18-inch wheels on this car too. And take a look at the window sticker. The only optional equipment we have on this particular one is the $395 driver's confidence package, and that's a total sticker price, destination included, of $23,790. So huge value with this car, and it's actually a really good sized small SUV. We've got parking sensors in the rear, backup camera, and it's a good looking car. We'll get a quick overview of opening some of the doors, and then we'll get it out for a drive. Now the trunk is actually pretty impressive. Just keep in mind too, you can fold down the seats, a 60/40 split, and we actually have a spare tire underneath with some extra storage. The rear seat room is very impressive given the size of this vehicle. So I'm 5'10". I adjusted this seat to a normal driving position, and take a look at that. Lots and lots of space back here. You could definitely use this as a family vehicle. And the RS spices up the interior a little bit with some red accents, flat bottom steering wheel. It looks pretty good. Nice looking seats too, with the gray seat backs, a little bit of red stitching as well. So let's hop in and take it for a drive. We've got the old switchblade key, which we need to stick in and turn it to start the car. And we'll put the windows up, leave the AC on, no, and make sure we put our seatbelt on. Safety first. All right, let's get this Trax out on the road. Okay, so a little overview of our test drive. We're gonna round this corner. We've got a nice back road here, not a lot of traffic. So we'll get a nice 0 to 60 test going here. We'll see how fast we can get the Trax up to speed. Then we'll take it out onto more of a kind of back road setting. We'll see how it does there, and we'll also get it out onto a main road. So we'll get it into quite a few different scenarios, so you really get an idea on how the Trax drives. All right, and the end of the curve is coming up somewhere here. It seems like this is the never-ending curve. And here we go. So we'll get the vehicle to a stop. We'll turn the AC off just for a minute here, and let's see what we can do. Auto start stop is on. Let's get a minute to start up, and here we go. Foot to the floor. All right, so not quite 60 there, but it's definitely on the slower side. You know, nothing that you'd have any issues with, you know, merging onto the highway or anything, but you may have to use a little bit more of a heavy foot than you would normally. But your trade-off there is great fuel economy. So 28 city, 32 on the highway. For any size SUV, that's actually pretty great, with no sort of like hybrid components or anything like that. Brakes feel very good too. It's got a nice solid pedal to it. Alright, so rounding this corner here, we got a little bit of a residential area, but it's very hilly. So I'm kind of curious to see how this Trax handles these hills here. So it being turbocharged, it's definitely got a lot of low-end power, so it's really the torque that kind of gets you going. It's got 100 and 37 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty for a vehicle of this size. Would a little bit more be appreciated? Yes, but is it needed? Not really. And that is the engine we have is a 1.2 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder, just for your information. It is all hooked up to a 6-speed transmission, which has, you know, it's plenty of gears to get you through and keep you in the power band. And overall, you know, I've driven a few Traxes in my day, and they do drive pretty nice overall. There's a little bit of tire noise, a little bit of wind noise, but again, you really can't complain given the price point that just under $24,000 that this car costs. Now, the one minor complaint I do have, in certain driving circumstances, the throttle response is just a little bit weird. You know, maybe it thinks you want more throttle, but you actually don't, so you get a little bit more acceleration than you had originally anticipated when you put the pedal down. But so it could use a little bit of throttle tuning, but nothing major. Just something you pick up on when driving this car. Now, these aren't the roughest of roads, but they're definitely not the smoothest of roads. But the ride quality on the Trax is actually pretty solid. So it does ride pretty nice. It's definitely more on the comfort oriented side rather than the sporty suspension setup. So it does provide a pretty nice ride over potholes and imperfections in the road. And it is a really great daily driver if you have a longer commute, you know, you want to save a little bit on gas. This still has plenty of space, like I showed you earlier, in the rear seats and in the trunk space to also be a family hauler. So now, nice features that this 1RS has is heated steering wheel and heated seats. It's also got blind spot warning too. So lots of nice safety tech and some creature comforts that are very welcomed on this car. Definitely like the steering wheel on this car. It's got kind of everything you would really need. It's got the dimpled leather, it's got stitching on the inside, it's got soft leather up here, and it's got a painted kind of flat bottom portion to the steering wheel too, and it's heated. And it's got all the controls, you know, audio adjustments, voice commands, Bluetooth phone, the cruise control is right at your fingertips, so it's a really nice setup for the steering wheel. Now, if you're interested in seeing all of the kind of features on the outside, under the hood, in the trunk, in the rear seats, and all of this, then definitely check out my channel, or you can just wait till the end of this video where we'll have a link to our full features review. And we did one on this very Trax, so you can kind of get used to the way that this car drives, and then you can head over to my channel and see all the features that it has. So kind of the best of the both worlds with Ty Drives. Yeah, so for just kind of normal acceleration, just driving around town, this Trax would be perfect. Longer highway trips, you might need a little bit more power, but you just gotta keep on that throttle and keep the turbo spooling. That's all. Now, the seats for this short drive have been very comfortable so far. They seem to have enough lumbar support. There isn't any adjustable lumbar, but for these manual adjusting seats, you have height, back and forth, and backrest adjustments. And I found a pretty comfortable driving position pretty fast in this car. So And there you have it. That pretty much does it for the POV test drive on the 2025 Chevrolet Trax 1RS. I do appreciate each and every one of you watching, and make sure you check out that features review video on this very Trax too, so you have a full knowledge on this car, not only how it drives but also the features that it has. I thank each and every one of you for watching, and I hope you stick with us here at Ty Drives for more videos just like this one.